It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
A splendiferous day to talk hockey because it's Sunday. You know what Sunday means? Rick Springhetti, Habs Prospect of the Week, Draft Prospect of the Week. It's going to be fun. Rick, we got a game tonight as well, so it's a double whammy. I got to do two. Not gotta. I'm going to do two. Happily, two podcasts today. So we've got, we're going to talk a bit about the game last night.
Absolutely.
You're going to have your draft prospect. I'm going to have my Habs prospect, and then we'll set up things for tonight's game against Anaheim. How's that sound to you?
I love it. I'm ready to go, my friend. I'm always happy to talk hockey with you on Sunday and with all the great people of HabsCast joining us. It's always fun.
So you got the girls off to the airport. They're heading to Cancun.
Yep, they should be arrived by now. They should be on the beach in an hour or so, and great girls' vacation, and get to enjoy the house to myself with Barney for a week, which is nice too, I guess.
Yeah, right on. No, it's not bad to have the odd break. I know all about it. As much as we love them, every now and then when you see them again,
it's fun.
Absence makes the heart fonder, or whatever the old saying is.
Yes, it does. It does. So then you're happy that they're doing something that's a lot of fun too. So you're happy for everybody. So it's going to be a fun week.
I don't know myself personally. I'm not the type. I don't have any interest in going. First of all, I'm not a heat guy, and to go like lay on a beach for a week or whatever, it just doesn't appeal to me. I know I'm a different cat, but I'd rather watch hockey and do things. Anyway, to each his own. I hope they have a good time, but we're gonna try to get you on for a few post games this week because
absolutely, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you're the boss at home this week, so whatever you decide goes, right?
Yes. I got to check with Barney, but besides that, yes, I'm good to go.
Well, yeah. Dogs are pretty cash about that usually.
Yeah, of course.
So, last night's game, you get to catch some of it?
Yeah, I got good parts of it. It was disappointing win, but it's one of those wins that you kind of accept are going to happen here and there because it's not like they played an awful game. Few mistakes here and there. Some things could have gone better, but it's. I don't think people. Every time there's a loss, there's always this big conversation about the problems with our team and this and that and no. There's every team has weaknesses and strengths, and you saw some of it yesterday. I don't think Slav had a great game, and Carrier made mistakes, and these things happen. Generally, though, it's a game. It's things happen, and you're going to win some, and you're going to lose some. It was not a disaster. Game? Sorry?
Carrier had a bad. Really? I didn't notice. You mean like
it's more that goal?
Like when he was standing in front of the net with Graf and he was hugging, like, I don't know, was he rubbing his back or what was he doing there? He certainly wasn't pushing him.
No. And he knows better. He has to tangle up the stick because he's not gonna. It's hard for him to move guys out of the way. He doesn't have great strength, and a Graf is not a huge guy, but he's not a tiny guy either, and he was well placed there. So at the least tangle up the stick. He didn't
do anything. He just stood there with him like, why don't we screen the goalie here and see what happens?
Right.
His I looked at his last 19 games, Rick, and his goals against average, which is goals against per 60, is 520 something, and the team's is 330. So basically, with Carrier on the ice, you can expect 2 more goals against than normal. That's not good. He like he's just right now he is he's a hindrance in the lineup. I don't suspect that they'll go with 5 left defensemen tonight, right? He'll be playing again. I mean, the
Okay.
guy's never sat a game, so but all the more ammunition for hopefully the call up of Reinbacher tomorrow, right?
I'm really hoping. I think you can't really today. I mean, I don't think they got the cap space today, and it's not going to be possible because as much as we will criticize, I can't foresee Jacky or Struble doing better than it's hard to tell, right? Because they're 6, 7 defensemen playing on the wrong side. It might not be fair to them. So I think Habs are going to go with this for at least one more game. I wish it wasn't against Anaheim that are they like their physicality, they're big, they're strong, and I think they're going to take advantage of that today. So maybe it would have been an idea, but generally the Habs kind of need Reinbacher to join the team sooner rather than later, because right now the right side is being exposed. It just doesn't work anymore. And it's just going to get worse as the season gets more and more physical and the games get harder and tighter. They're going to really need Reinbacher, and he's ready. Well, we always say, you've said it, you've shown it, you've proven it. Um, I don't want to bring up youngsters because you have a hole in the lineup. You have to call them up when they're ready. Well,
Right.
you've shown it. He's ready, and he
Yeah.
fills a hole. So it's a double whammy. So it's got to happen, and I think we're hoping that that we get the news this week that Reinbacher is going to be called up and in the lineup because I think it's time.
Yeah. I don't mind Struble on the right. He played some in college, and you know, if somebody has to play on the right, I don't mind Strubes. But having two left defensemen on the right, you're asking for trouble. I think. Well, I mean, they clearly they like Carrier. Carrier is still on the first PK, so they're not going to go from that to not dressing him, I guess. They clearly think for some reason that he's the best. I mean, he's fairly intelligent player. He works hard, all that stuff, but um, the penalty kill is like 27th overall in the league, and he's on the first penalty kill. Like at some point here, I don't think you can go into the playoffs, Rick, and be one of the 6 worst penalty killing teams in the league and expect to do well, because power play becomes such an important. You often see games decided by a power play goal, tight 2-1, 3-2 games. If a team can get a power play goal, it can sink you. And I mean, I really hope if they make the playoffs here that they don't. If they go into the playoffs with Alex Carrier on your first top penalty kill and they don't make any personnel changes to it, even though they're right at the very bottom in the league, it may be a quick exit for them this playoff year.
Yeah, no, I agree, and the other problem becomes, come playoffs time, we know the referees kind of put away the whistle a little bit, right? So he's kind of doubly exposed because bigger, stronger defensemen have that advantage where even if you're not as quick, and that was a little bit my argument in the past with getting Shen, even though he's much slower. I figure, well, come playoff time, you kind of put the whistle away, so he'll be hooking and grabbing, and they'll let him get away with more of it. So there's a little bit of it compensates a little bit, but he doesn't have that advantage carrier. Even if you do take away some of the hooking and grabbing, it doesn't help him out much at all. Like it's not something he would use anyways. He's got to use his speed or his skating ability, courage, anticipation, intelligence. If you let in a lot of the hooking and grabbing and physicality and slashing, he doesn't really get an advantage from that.
Right.
And that's something to consider. And the second thing quickly, Grant, is with Hudson playing on the right side, you got 2 defensemen on the right side that are less than 5'11" or 5'11" and less. That's a problem too. The teams are going to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, load up on size on that side, and park somebody 6'3", 6'4" guy in front of the net and say, okay, guys, move them out, right?
I know it's
good
a
luck
problem
with that. Carrier has too much of a workload. Well, that's why, I don't know. I'd like to have Reinbacher up playing 15 minutes a night. Maybe you can, like they do it anyways. They kind of mix and match it. It's not, they don't roll out just 3 pairings all the time, because you look at the ice time. Like last night, for example, Struble had 11 minutes. Carrier had 13, 14. Typically, it's Jacky or Struble with around 11 minutes. Then it's Carrier. Lately, it's been mid to 15 to 18 minutes, and then the other 4 in 20 to 25. Last night, Hudson 26. So they do mix and match the other guys a bit. I'd like to see Reinbacher up and Carrier used as the 6th ice time, with the 6th amount of ice time, or him and Reinbacher close, at least, right? Each about 14 minutes or something. Then the other 4 get the majority of the time. But I don't like the setup where they've got, it's either Struble or Jacky gets about 8 minutes less than Carrier on average a night.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think something needs to be done there. They need, and I hope that the solution is calling up Reinbacher and letting them play 14 plus minutes. And hey, I mean, you can experiment. You can, they've got 5 call-ups. If Reinbacher comes up and he really struggles, that you can always send him back down, but give him that look. I mean, every top 5 defenseman, and I keep saying it, gets a look by this age. At some point, they get a trial in the NHL. Every single one of them for the last 15 years. So it's time to. He's had 4 years of pro experience now. He's been playing against men, albeit sporadically last year, but the last 4 years, he's been playing against men. He's been playing pro hockey, right? It's not like he's just he's only played 2 years of pro hockey and you're still a little leery about that part of it. He's played 4 years, so I think they need to call him up, I hope, on Monday, and hopefully they can get through tonight's game. I mean, Anaheim's, we saw a good young team. Obviously a team with really good young players last night. Anaheim's got even more good young players. They don't have a Celebrini per se, I guess, but
Right.
they've got some really talented young players. And these are fun games. Like last night was fast. The pace was good. The Celebrini kid's not bad, eh?
I put him as a guy that I have highly rated in the league right now. I think he's coming along well.
Yeah, wild.
He's something else. He's just a blast to watch, and the whole the team, San Jose's team, is fun to watch. Generally, they've got other guys in there that are good young players, especially at forward. I questioned their defensive depth going forward, just because so many of them right now are kind of old, and they got a few. They don't have that many good young ones, I think, in their system that are highly touted. But they're gonna beat you with that offense. Are they ever? Wow, that was really, really good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're going to beat you with the offense if you leave them alone in front of the net. And
yeah, it's true.
I don't know. It was Montreal again, leaky on defense. It just way too many 3-on-2s and 3-on-1s where it's not just on the defenseman either. Like the forwards are getting caught up, nowhere near the 3 forwards on the other team at times. The other teams are breaking out. I think they've got I don't know if the centers need to be back a little more at times. I think, they end up getting caught in the offensive zone, and the other team seems to get a lot of 3-on-2 breakouts where the 3 Habs forwards are nowhere near, and they have time to pass it around. And you can't really blame that on the defensemen when they're outnumbered on breaks into their zone. And just need to tighten it up. the forwards need to offer more defensive support to the defensemen at times, I think.
I totally agree, and I think secondary to that problem, and it's where offense and defense kind of have to work together. I find that recently they want to be a more of a puck possession team, but to do that, your line mates have to be a passing option. You got to be available. You got to have a passing option, and not the guys are not as open as they used to be, or they're not taking the game as well. So the puck carrier is forcing a little bit too many passes sometimes, and you saw that yesterday again with Suzuki in the third period, where he made or second period where he made a really odd, kind of pass that was intercepted, and it led to a breakout. And Safkowski, I think, lost one that way too. So puck management, I'm big on puck management, and you got to really be careful when you to not push passes in dangerous areas. You could force a pass on the sides maybe, or if you're really deep, but when you force passes a little bit too much in the middle, like they tend to be doing a little bit more these days, that's maybe a little bit of an area of concern that they have to tighten up in that area, because that does lead to a quick breakout. And especially if you're taking a team like San Jose that is really, really good offensively, they took advantage of that. They really transitioned really quickly, and Montreal were at times not able to recover positionally from that.
Yeah. Mark keeps on sending me money. I'm not going to argue with you, buddy. I guess
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad that you got over that those 3 tires blown on the potholes thing, and there's a little bit, you got a little bit of extra cash, and you're sending it my way. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks as always. He sent 10 last night too, and just 12. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
PLE White paying Dobson $9.5 million, but not playing him on either the power play 1 or PK 1 makes no sense. You know what? I have wondered why they think Carrier would be better on the PK than Dobson. I mean, yeah, he's maybe a little more intelligent defensively than Dobson. He tries maybe competes a little harder, but he's not more effective in moving people out of the way because of his size. Like, at least Dobson's got the size, and if you kind of you say to him, look, see this video last night of Carrier? No, you just do the exact opposite of that with the guy in front of the net, and you'll be fine, right? Like, actually push guys out. But he's got a longer stick, a lot longer reach. He can get two loose pucks in front of the net more so than Carrier. He certainly skates like he's not a slower skater, I don't think. Like,
No.
He's good one-on-one. I mean, I realize that you don't have a lot of one-on-ones in on the PK necessarily, but I would like them to try Dobson and Ghule a little more often on the PK. Maybe get them out there as a pairing on the PK. They would make more sense to me than Matheson and Carrier. Matheson and Dobson. One of those two. Give them more time killing the penalty out there. Even Struble, like I'd prefer Struble on the right side than Carrier on the PK. He'll move guys out from in front of the net. He'll be physical. Every bit as good a skater. I really think that they need to get Carrier off of the top PK. And I also am not crazy about Evans and Deneau paired as your top penalty killing unit. It's just not been working. It's not working with those two. So they to me, they got to make 2 changes, one on defense and one forward on the first PK unit.
I think that's a great call, yeah, because and it's fair to Carrier. He'll probably be able to be more successful playing against a second power play unit, and
sure,
that's a good thing for him too. I mean,
yeah,
put guys in position to succeed. And the skating is a great point, because the thing with Dobson and even Struble is that maybe straight ahead speed, Carrier might be a little better at that, but their footwork, their lateral mobility, I think they're almost better than Carrier. I think in that sense, that's where they really do well. I mean, Dobson is just really beautifully fluid, and he moves well, and he's really well balanced. So I think that helps a lot. And that was a great point by our listener there, saying, you're paying somebody that much money, we'll use them. I mean, there's no
Yeah, exactly.
there's no point. I mean, he's on the second power play unit anyways. He doesn't see that much time because that first unit usually stays quite a bit because they hold on to the puck forever.
Yeah.
So it's a short time for him. So I don't think it's going to affect this game at all. And Matheson and Dobson were a pretty good pairing when they're used together. They did well, and why not use that? I like that as a first unit, because then on the second unit, if you have Ghule and let's say Carrier, if you want to put him on the second unit, well, Ghule is more stronger and more physical. He could maybe compensate a little bit for Carrier better that way.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great suggestion. I would definitely go for that.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd like to see Reinbacher, but I don't know that they would feed him, that responsibility right off the bat at the NHL level. Like, ideally, he's going to eventually be on the PK here, but I don't know if they do it right away, if and when they call him up. I mean, I would. You can't be worse than 26th or 27th in the league. PK really. Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be a little worse, but when you're already at the bottom of the heap, there's no place to go but up, right? So, I mean, I would, if the other guys are still struggling, you try other combos, then you give Reinbacher a go too. That's why I'd like. You've got 17. How many games left? 17,
I believe.
17 games left to get things sorted out before the playoffs. That's why I like to see Reinbacher call up now. You do a bunch of different things, including even sitting Carrier a game and bringing in play Struble or whoever, somebody on the right with Dobson and Reinbacher, and see how that looks, right? See how maybe Hudson plays on the right and you've got Struble and Reinbacher as your third pairing or something like that. Like, you could do a lot of different things and try to get, there hasn't been a point in the season where they've had three pairings out there that they look like they're comfortable with, and so keep changing it up until you hopefully find that combination before playoff time, because it's going to be so important to have three working defense pairings if they hope to do some damage in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And one last thing too about Reinbacher is his puck retrieval and breakouts are so good that you're not going to spend as much time in the defensive zone too. And I think that's really important. When you get a good breakout pass, man, you're controlling the puck well, and he does it so well. If anybody's seen the game, especially in person, you notice it even more. But even on the video there, everything is done well. It's well thought out. It's well executed. So again, I say it before and I'll say it again. You showed it to everybody who's seen your videos. Reinbacher is ready. It's time. You can't wait forever. There's no reason for it. It's not helping him. It's not helping your team. Let's get going. Let's bring up Reinbacher right now or tomorrow, I should say.
Yes. St. Patty's Day. Carrier should be the name of a butter brand. Maybe a new marketing opportunity for him. Oh, okay. I don't know. And this guy saying, I'm still salty about that non-goal call. Yeah. Well, hey, refs make mistakes. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. The Habs have got that friggin' that offside. Like, really, the guy was. I mean, the Canadians got a break on that too, right?
Yeah.
The old offside.
Yeah.
By an inch thing that I know. I mean, I don't mind it as much when it happens against the Habs, but it's still, I just don't. I wish they just when it's and it wasn't like they scored right away either. It was a while later, and so the Habs got a break on that too, where the goal was called back. Freaking, or Celebrini would have had 8 points in the last two games against the Canadians.
Crazy.
That's sick, eh?
That's just insane.
Yeah. People only remember the latest events, but forget how Carrier bailed the team out a couple times, games this season and even last season. No, I don't think that's. I mean, I've mentioned it just about every time that Carrier, like last night again, even I talked about last season where he, if it wasn't for Carrier, they don't get into the playoffs. But then I also mentioned that you can't live in last year. You can't live in the past, just like you can't with Monty. I say it all the time. Monty was great last year, but now now is now, then was then, and you can't go by what a person did the year before. You have to go with how they're playing right now. And Monty's struggling. Like, PLE, do you want Monty in the nets because he's bailed them out a couple times this year and he was very good last year? No. So why would it be any different for Carrier, right? Like, are you saying he should stay in the lineup because he was good last year and he bailed him out earlier a couple times? Or are you just saying that we should mention that more often? Because I do acknowledge that, well, their record after they got Carrier last year, we went from being like right at the bottom of the standings to being the acquisition of him and Line 8 coming into the lineup a little before that helped turn their season around. So absolutely, I'm not even really saying that he should be out of the lineup completely. I just think he should be used as the sixth defenseman and get another right D man in there.
Yeah, and I think everything becomes situational too. When they got Carrier last year, it was a fantastic acquisition because they were a little bit more in development mode last year, and I think they needed somebody to give them honest minutes, and he'll give you honest minutes. But now you got to be thinking more playoffs, and maybe he doesn't have, maybe the characteristics that the Habs are looking for, especially that they already have another smaller defenseman already in the lineup. So it becomes a situation where maybe it's not about the player; it's just about the situation maybe not being the right fit right now. And again, like you said, I not necessarily, I would not. Maybe I would take him out of the lineup for Reinbacher, maybe not, or maybe I would try both and see how it goes. But I like Harry, and I like that he's in the team. But it's just the situation might not be the best for him or for the team right now. So that's all we're saying.
What's the use of having a stay-at-home defenseman with Hudson if he doesn't stay home? Ghule plays too far ahead when Lane is lower in the offensive zone. I'll keep an eye out for that. Caden Gouli's played less than 200 NHL games, and Hudson's played less than 200 NHL games, so they're still learning. Ghule is only back from injury yet again, and only played a handful of games this year. So yeah, he's still learning things out there at the NHL level, and playing with Lane, you got to learn. Okay, I'm the guy that stays back in this pairing. But it's also one of the reasons why I like Reinbacher to be up, because I think Reinbacher should be playing with Hudson. Hudson's the best defenseman. Bring the kid up and playing with your best defenseman. Like, what better way to develop than have Hudson as your partner? I think when they drafted him, that was the reason. That was the thinking. These two are going to be paired. Went to the development camp and they were together. They were like glue together that whole first camp. So the thought process has been, all right, this is going to be a pairing down the road. Well, no time better than the present. Get those two paired together. Gouli's, he still only played 194 games. Put him on the third pairing with Carrier. Have those two as a pairing. Hudson with Reinbacher and Matheson and Dobson.
Yeah. Like that.
I think that I'd like to see that and see how it looks. And then if Carrier's still struggling, you can bring in Strubes or Jack-Eye and play either Struble or Hudson on the right and go from there. But yeah, no, I've got. I can't disagree with a lot of the points being made here. I know people who played Reinbacher in Europe. They say that he never got cross-checked that hard in their life. Reinbacher is stiffer than people think. Oh yeah, he's got an edge to his game.
Yeah,
Um, Seen Rhino doing clearing net drills. He's one strong boy. Absolutely. Like the thoughts that he's not strong enough yet or physical enough. That's not what I have seen in my 4 years of scouting him. He's got plenty of jam, more jam than Carrier for sure. You would not have seen him doing what Carrier did last night with Graf in front of the net. That I can guarantee you. He'd box the guy out. So hey, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe this helps convince them. Right, we got to bring up the big top five pick. Habs are missing Armia terribly on PK. So does Evans. Yeah, I think part of it is again the long stick. Right, the gets in lanes, the long
yeah,
reach. They're missing that on the that top that top unit is not very big. The top PK unit. Um, And when you can't get sticks in lanes to cut off passes, I don't care how quick you are, they're going to thread them through a lot more. And they miss Armia's length definitely on the PK this
definitely,
year.
yeah,
You know,
definitely, yeah. You're right.
yeah. All right.
And the physical strength, he's strong, and that helps a little bit. There's not a lot of strength on the
True.
PK.
Yeah. Well, Dano's not. I wouldn't call
No,
him strong or physical.
no,
Uh, okay. Well, let's get to your draft prospect of the week, Rick. And
absolutely.
we got an American today
Yes, sir.
with a very
Comes from a well-known
familiar.
hockey family,
Yes,
the Cullens. We're looking at Wyatt Cullen, left wing, 5'11 and a half, 174. Wyatt is a playmaker par excellence, although you see a goal here. He's number 7, by the way. Uh, he's got a half decent shot, but one that he doesn't use that much. I think he's only got like 7 goals in the USHL this year in 28 games. He's gonna get a decent shot on net here, and it was taken away because there was a hand pass before that, but that was a good shot. We're going to see a little bit more of his passing ability here, where he's going to just feed a lot of cross ice passes that he gets through traffic. Holds on to the puck a long time and just draws guys to him. He's really, really, really good at that. See another cross ice pass here that the guy might have whiffed at. Now you're gonna see pretty good breakouts too. He really like gets into the zone properly, moves around. Another cross ice pass there that almost leads to a goal, and you're gonna see another really good one now come out. Handles the puck really well. I wouldn't say really, really that fast. He's not a speedster, but he's pretty shifty. But his hands and stick handling are excellent. He keeps his head up at all times. Sees what's going on. Here he comes again. Nice plays. Doesn't really work out, but that's fine. He's here. I think I see another really nice pass, and he's going to get the puck back here in a few seconds. Look at the way he moves around, forces guys to run after him a little bit, and he comes in. So that's what he is. He's a playmaker off the wing. Not much of a shooter. Creates a lot of openings. If you're a sniper, you'll love having this guy on your line because he's going to feed you over and over and over again. And if you go to the net, he'll get you the puck because he manages to get it through traffic. His defensive game, I find, is not always as dedicated as it could be, although I think he's got the intelligence to play it. But I think the habit of always having the puck and making plays, he forgets about it, and he overhandles the puck sometimes. Here he is, losing the puck right at the blue line. Almost led to a scoring opportunity. It didn't, but it kept the team stuck a little bit in their own zone for a while. So Wyatt Cullen is. Sorry, guys. My microphone got knocked out by my dog, but Yeah, I think Barney White Cullen is going to be drafted probably in the middle end, so 20 to 30 at the draft this year. Some people have him a little bit higher, some have him a bit lower. But the one thing to consider to me that's really important is that there's two things to consider that are really important, I should say. One is that he's gained around
Rick,
7.
we can't hear you very well, buddy.
Oh, you can't really? Is that better?
Okay.
Is that better? Sorry, I just the dog hit my mute button, so I lost for just a few seconds. I got it back.
Okay.
So yeah, White Cullen was gained around 7 to 8 inches in the last year and a half to 2 years. So that's really important in terms of his ability, his skating ability, and all that. And he's also September 8th birthday, so he's one of the younger players of the draft. So there's still a lot of upside for Wyatt. So we'll see how that goes. But
Rick,
a
you still
really interesting talent,
Sure.
really good playmaker, and a really, really good passer among the better
Rick.
ones for this draft.
Can't hear you very well, buddy. Go to your audio settings, your gear. Make sure that you're on the right microphone there. Okay. There, PLE White says he can. Well, I don't know. I can't hear him. So, all right, try it again there. This shouldn't take long, Rick. Just go to your audio settings under the gear.
I made the microphone, and it's not web camera speakers.
All right.
Is it better?
Okay. Well, we won't keep you much longer, Rick. Yeah. Well, Wyatt Cullen, I'll do most of the talking here.
Sorry.
Yeah, Wyatt Cullen. Do you like him better than Nelson?
Yeah, I think I do like him a little bit better. I think he's Nelson though is a little bit younger though. I think he's ready for this year's draft. But you're talking about Plant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't there a Danny Nelson or something? No.
Yeah, he's 1 year younger. He's next year's draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
looks like
I think Nelson has more. Nelson is more of a scorer, and I think he's more dynamic. But I think in terms of playmaking, man, he gives you a lot, and I think he's less of a finished product. So I think a team that's willing to be patient is going to be very much more interested in Cullen. But again, he might also be a little bit of a limited player in terms of his two-way game, not really being developed yet.
right.
You got to see more from him in that sense. I think he could do better because his hockey IQ is high enough. I think he sees things well. It's just he's got to commit to it a little bit more. But he does have some feistiness too. He's got a little bit of an edge.
Okay, Rick, we're gonna let you go, buddy. Your audio is not working very well. I can barely hear you. So, look, I'm gonna get to my prospect here. You got to get going anyways. You're going to a game this afternoon, BLB, and good that we could get the prospect in. Your sound was good for most of the time, so that's cool. But no biggie. We got in your prospect of the week. We talked about the game last night. You go see. You got a couple of prospects on Drummondville that you want to have a look at, and we'll talk about them next week when you come back on. Okay, buddy. Thanks. And maybe tonight if you're free, come on post game. Okay. And we'll make sure that your audio is working well before we go to air. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay, man. Okay, thanks, Rick. All right, muffled Rick Springhetti today. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened to the sound. Sometimes it happens. We're at when you're doing a live podcast, you're at the mercy of the you're at the mercy of the StreamYard and dogs and yeah, I guess maybe you can you can you can blame the gods or the dog, one or the other, as internet gods, as Scoy George said. All right, would have liked to have got Rick's comments on Mittelstadt here. Looks like he's watching anyway, so maybe he can watch the video I've got on Mittelstadt here. Habs signed Luke Mittelstadt, left defenseman, 5'11", approximately 180 pounds, drafted 7th round, 2023 by the Canadiens. He played 4 years, Minnesota. The stats basically the same all the way through. 21 points, 20, 18, 21. So same amount of points in his senior year as he had in his freshman year. Mind you, his plus minus this year, after being plus 22, plus 11, plus 23, was minus 10. I don't know that there was necessarily a lot of progress in his game this year, but he did captain the team. He averaged 28 minutes a game or something ridiculous like that. I know his last dozen games or so, I don't have my phone with me. I have it on there, but he was averaging 29.59 a game. So 1 second under 30 minutes. His last 8 games, it was 8 games of the season. So, I mean, they played him too much, right? His skating doesn't look great, but you have to keep in mind that he was pacing himself a lot of the time. When you're playing 30 minutes a night, you can't go full out the whole time. Anyways, I've got a video of his last game, the game, their elimination game. They lost 6-2, I believe it was, to Michigan State. Oh, okay, no, sorry. Here are what I started off with. Here is a few of his errors. Here he is against Michigan State, and just icing the puck, turnover. It's a few just a few things that kind of show that he's been struggling a little bit with his play there. He gets the puck, turns it over, team goes the other way, gets a great chance. Just showing some of the things that concern me quickly, but here he is against Penn State, and they were not they were clearly outclassed in this game, and you'll see as we show the highlights here, it wasn't pretty at times. There he gets beat to the outside. I'm not crazy about his pivots. I don't find, for a guy that's like 5'11" at the most, I don't find him to be overly mobile. In his defense, they had him playing on the right side here quite a bit, and that's not easy, of course, for a left defenseman. Here, I don't know if he really defended that very well. That was the first goal of the game against him. His stats weren't great. His goals against average was higher, I think about 380 this year, and the team's was 330, so about a half a goal a game worse when he was on the ice than when he wasn't. I had a friend who scouted him quite a bit that defends him and says that really it was he was a product of a club that just was terrible this year, and the coaching wasn't great. But when you play 29 minutes a game, the team's terrible. You have something to do with that as well, right? It's not like I mean, if you're on the ice half the time, and the team gives up fewer goals against when you're not on the ice, well, you're part of the problem. Again, there was against McKenna. I'm just going to back that up a bit. I found it interesting that he didn't try to block the shot. You normally see here he is, and it's McKenna coming in, and he just let him shoot, which usually, but I guess maybe he didn't want to deflect it into the net. But normally you see the defender at least put a stick out and try to, I mean, that was McKenna. Odds are he's going to score. He didn't, but there was a decent move to get away. But my friend that scouted him said he's smart, intelligent, good puck skills. Will be a good defenseman at the AHL level, and maybe even warrant a call up to the NHL at some point. I don't know that he was taking into account just how strong the Canadians are on the left side. And as you can see here, he doesn't. His skating is just okay for his size, but as far as depth on the left side, I mean, he's 8 to 10 probably on the left side on the depth chart right now for the Canadians. Maybe 8 to 10, I'd say. So it's a long way to go before he's even close to perhaps being a call up. Here he goes around the guy. Again, he's not a poor skater, but I certainly wouldn't call him fast. And there he just, I don't know, brought the puck in but didn't do anything with it till he got hit and then turned it over. So I'm not seeing a pile of creativity there. He's not physical per se. I don't know. I'm not that excited about this guy. And I, as a 7th round pick and a left defenseman, I'm actually a little surprised that they signed him, because I think that there are, like Max Vig, for instance. Maxon Vig is a better, as far as I'm concerned, is a better prospect than him. And I just hope that they don't run out of contracts here and they can't sign a kid like Vig down the road because they signed Mittelstadt instead, right? But, maybe they, like Vig is, they probably figure Vig's going to play at least 2 more years, maybe 3. And Mittelstadt's contract's only 2. So I guess, you have a look at him for 2 years and you don't have to re-sign him to an NHL contract at that point, right? If they don't, and then Vig's ready, and then you use that contract to sign Vig, right? So I guess there's that way of looking at it, where maybe it doesn't hurt to give him a 2-year window here, and if he can improve his game a fair bit. Here he got caught. I don't know what he was doing. He was sleeping on it, and the guy got in behind him. But I don't find his backward skating. He doesn't, like, he'll skate forward with his back turned to the play to get back at times, and I don't like that. I don't think he's comfortable enough with his backward skating at times to be able to defend. And ideally, you're facing the puck carrier all the time, but I don't think he's a very good backward skater. And again, you're a 5'11" defenseman. I don't know. That's not great. Yeah, he plays on the power play in Minnesota, but they don't have a very good team, right? Like, he was captain and played 28 minutes a game because they just didn't have anyone better. But I know I'm not sounding this isn't coming out as a great endorsement of him, but I got to be truthful. I'm not I don't see a guy that's ever gonna I'd be surprised if he ever plays any NHL games with the Canadians. I think he's what you're looking at here is a AHL bottom 4, bottom 3 guy, right? Certainly don't see him as a number 3. At absolute best, number 4, maybe at the AHL level down the road, but more likely a kind of a bottom pairing AHL guy. And obviously he's, the coaches love him. He's a good character kid, smart. He'll
be good in the dressing room. He was a captain in Minnesota, so that's all good. The coaches will probably like him. He'll play, like a Lucas Condata up front, right? He'll be someone that the coaches rely on. He'll, a bit of a, I don't know, less mobile Alex Carrier type player, maybe, right? I know that wouldn't excite a lot of people right now, but hey, Carrier is an NHL defenseman, so there's that. And in the offensive zone, his passing at times isn't too bad. He, on the power play here, he moves it around okay, sees the ice okay. They got beat 6-2, like I say, and that eliminated them. Then Penn State played Michigan last night, and Michigan advanced to the final. Would have thought it'd be against Michigan State, but guess what? Michigan State lost 3-2 in overtime to the up and coming, the Cinderella Ohio State Buckeyes, who upset Wisconsin 7-1. That should have been a hint. Hey, these guys are getting it together at the right time, and this is for the Big Ten championship. And then they go into Michigan State, the number one ranked team in the league, and they beat them in overtime 3-2. So that you got to love this one game knockout stuff. Well, hey, we saw it at the Olympics, right? You get a best of 7, Canada against the U.S. Olympics. I'm sorry, U.S. hasn't beaten Canada 4 times. I refuse to believe that. But in a one game, goalie gets hot, right time type thing, and upsets, right for upsets, and that's what happened. So, but Luke, he signed right after the season. LJ Mooney didn't, and LJ's not ready anyways. I prefer that he play 2 more years at least in Minnesota. But I guess there's going to be some contracts that aren't renewed at the AHL level, and that they must like his character, think that he can, be a serviceable guy at the AHL level. I don't know how much he'll play down the stretch here in Laval and in the playoffs, but right now they've got injuries, so you'll probably see some time. I mean, they had Louis Jean in the lineup, some ECHL guys right now, so I guess there's that too. They think that because of the lack of depth, and if they call up Reinbacher too, then it's even thinner on defense in Laval down the stretch here. So that would go into it to the thinking that, well, this guy can probably help us a bit. We don't know how far Pickford and Protz will go in the playoffs. They're both on pretty good teams in the AHL. So, this guy can come now and fill a spot when we're thin on defense in Laval. So they signed him. And hey, we'll see. I mean, I didn't watch him all year. You can't just go on one game and say, okay, well, this is what he is. It's in this game, he wasn't very good, obviously. And, but I mean, you can discern some things. He's not a great skater. He's not, he 2 or 3 times in that game when he had the puck, it bounced over his stick and he kind of lost it. So even though my scouting friend said he's a good puck handler, I don't think he's, certainly not above average. I don't think he's above average in any category physically. Again, my friend would know him better because he's a Midwest scout, and if he says he's a smart, intelligent player and good character, then he would know better than I would in that regard. So that's probably his main assets, and that's not a bad thing, right? Canadians seem to be getting that type of player in the system, and they like that, and it's not a bad thing. So Hey, depth signing for Laval right now. Here's hoping a couple of years he can, keep improving his game, maybe get better, improve his skating, get stronger over the next 2 off seasons, and maybe he can become a good, helpful defenseman at the AHL level. There'll be some guys coming up. Like, are they able to keep guys like Trudeau and that in the future? We'll see. So you always have to have guys coming up, right, in the system, because you invariably lose them as time goes along. Like next year after camp, William Trudeau probably doesn't make the Habs, right? Maybe he doesn't clear waivers when he gets sent down. Maybe a team picks him up and then you lose him. So you've got somebody, right, that can replace him. I mean, I prefer William Trudeau to Mittelstadt, but replace him depth-wise in the organization if you lose a guy like Willie Trudeau next camp. Yeah. Let's get to this here. Zhuravsky. There's Kuznetsov with the puck. This is today. Look at that pass from Kuznetsov. Eh? Zhuravsky had a goal and an assist at even strength today, which I don't know how many times he's got 2 even strength points in a game, but that's rare. And I mean, hey, that was mostly. But I like what he did there. He made the nice play to begin with to turn the puck over to Kuznetsov, and then the nice feed. If we back it up here, just have one more look. Right here, he's the guy at the top of the screen. I like how he stopped there, good edges, got to the puck, long reach, and boom, got it ahead to Kuznetsov, and then went to the scoring area, was ready for it. He thought it might be coming, and yeah, Kuznetsov gets a lot of the credit for that, but Zhuravsky created the turnover, and like a Kapanen, went to the right spot, got the return pass, and deposited in the net. So goal and an assist for Zhuravsky today after, I think it was 7 games without a point. So nice to see him get back on the score sheet. His goal was assisted by Kuznetsov, and his assist also involved Kuznetsov. So I'm assuming that he probably played with Kuznetsov today. He had about 14 minutes of ice time, which is, for a friggin' kid, a teenager playing. I guess he just turned 19, right? So, but still a teenager playing in the K. 14 minutes is good. Yeah, sure, they've got some coming off the, at the end of the year, coming off the books. Gannon Larocque, ooh, I don't think he's going to make the squad anytime soon, eh? Yeah, but they'll probably be wanting to sign a couple of guys this year, but next year especially, right? You want to have those contracts because they'll be signing a few, I think. Well, they're going to be signing Hage for sure at the end of this year. They already have Pickford signed, but they haven't signed Protz yet either, right? So there may be some coming off the books, but there's some, that are going to need to be signed over the next 13 months. So we'll see. I just hope that it, again, just like this no cap space thing, I hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass a little bit later on down the road. Let's see here. All right, let's get to some of your comments on here. Any word on lineup? I haven't seen anything been a little busy here, but Fowler obviously is going to be in nets tonight, I would think, and maybe Strubal's out for Jack Eye. I haven't heard. I thought Struble was fine last night, but I don't think Jack Eye sat 3 straight games all year, has he? Probably not, because he hasn't missed that many. I think he hasn't sat out even a dozen games yet. So, yeah. Put Carrier in the honorable mentions Hall of Fame with Monty. Yeah. Dobson is so good, but not all situations like Markov was. Yeah. Yep. Yes, Mr. Sparkle. Maybe Monty has a vision problem since last year. Seems that way. I have suggested that he go to the optometrist, ophthalmologist, whatever, the eye doctor. He can't clear the front of the net. He doesn't. Bottom line, he doesn't do it. No. And Reinbacher does. Costco has ducks for about $25 each. Big boys too. Half liter of duck fat rendered. House smells great. Thank you for that information, I am wonder. He is mostly invisible, but he shouldn't be playing top PK minutes, but who else can? I'd pretty much try anybody instead of Carrier on the top PK. It's a perfect bottom pair. We just need one more big bruiser for the top 4. Pickford or Reinbacher will be great. Not today, but certainly tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's tomorrow. Tomorrow, Reinbacher gets called up. Tomorrow has arrived, my friend, as far as I'm concerned. Jacques likes the idea of Rhino with Hudson ASAP. I'm happy when people agree with me. Thanks for the PK stats. Some have used those to mention Evans was not good on the PK, but it was also seems to show that Carey was good on the PK when Evans was not on it. The Evans wasn't on the fence though, so that doesn't make a pile of sense, Francois, as far as I'm concerned. But I think it was more because Evans wasn't out there than because Carrier, I don't think Carrier was magically better during that stretch. He's been pretty much the same all year on the PK as far as I'm concerned. Well, no, I don't just look at the numbers. I've been watching games all year, PL White. I'm not just making assumptions. I don't just look at stats. That's for sure. Gallagher and Bolduc out, Fowler in the net. Yeah, well, I knew Gallagher was in, but Bolduc is out for sure. Okay, well, I did predict that. No surprise. This is confirmed. Bolduc's out. No surprise there. We're missing Jake Allen. Kovacevic would have been great. Yeah. Mayu's playing 25 minutes a game in St. Louis now. The guy that he was traded for is healthy scratch. Anyway, can't go back on it now, right? I don't like to, I'm not a Captain Hindsight and spend all my time whining about trades that were made there. When it's done, right? Got to live with it. Got to support the guy that they traded for. Here's hoping Bolduc gets things straightened out. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody want to double check the lineups. Carey and Danault have been bad on the PK. Time to sit both of them. Yeah. Not just Danault, Evans too. Unfortunately, Not a lot of options other than that. Jacky plays good on the right side. Yeah. I think Strubal's better on the right than Jacky. He's got more experience doing it too. Sorry to say, but Carey too soft to play in the playoffs. Teams have been targeting 45. They hit him hard. Yep. Put pressure on Carey seems to be creating all sorts of problems for the Habs. Rick was at the mercy of his dog playing with his mic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rick, you better apologize profusely, buddy. Don't worry about it. I didn't want to talk to you anymore anyway, so it's perfect. It worked out perfect. Okay, no, I'm kidding, Rick. Ryan McDonald Jr. He does everything well, nothing great. You talking about Mittelstadt? I don't know if he does everything well. Does everything satisfactorily? Maybe. I don't know about everything well, but I don't know. He's vanilla. He's not big enough. You know, he's not physical. He's like physicality well. I wouldn't say, you know, I wouldn't check it off as well for his physicality or skating or anyways, he's serviceable. He probably a left Carrier defenseman. Yeah, that's kind of who's maybe not quite as good a skater. I don't know. Depth signing for the AHL is what I see. I think he's ready to being Reinbacher. Yeah, people like those videos I put out last few weeks, I think. Certainly there's been I've noticed a change in the you know, a month ago it was, oh, he's not ready, don't rush him, blah blah blah. Then a month of Carrier struggling and people seeing Reinbacher a little more and the improvement. The tide's changed, I think. Majority of people saying, oh, okay. Yeah. Reinbacher time. Bring him up. Yeah. At the AHL level, I wonder, but we don't know at the NHL level. Totally different thing. Like Reinbacher looked great in the AHL this year. Didn't get a point in 10 games in the NHL. Didn't look great. He was serviceable, but that's not playing on the right side much either. So the jury's out on whether, and you don't. I'm sorry, but you don't put a rookie in that situation, especially this time of year. Like, you know, anyone that would say, well, why don't we start the playoffs with Engstrom on the right side? Well, no, you don't. They're not going to do that. Absolutely not. Deneau has been pitiful. He hasn't been great. Mark, who not only contributed $5 to the cause, thank you, Mark, has also taken the time to ask people if they don't mind to hit that like button. Yes, that would be superb. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, well, you can't base it on last year, Claude. You know, it's like saying Monty should be playing because he was good last year as well. We say Carrier should be in the line because he is half of our right-hand defense half. Half, he and Dobie. Yes. Could have been Mayu. Could have been Connor Murphy. Kovacevic. Anyway. I love Ghule, but I have a sad feeling he'll be included in the transaction. I don't think so. We got to be patient with him, Claude. Less than 200 NHL games. Give him some time. Kanyushkov, he may never come over. That's the thing about drafting Russians. I don't know. Captain of his team over there, he's pretty, hard to say. I think Bergquist has a year left, but don't quote me on that. I have a feeling that's, and it's Bergqvist. It's a kind of a funny spelling, but he's not coming over this year. I like, at the end of the day, I like Bergquist a little. I also like Bergquist better than the Mittelstadt, but he's not coming over right now, so I guess they looked at it that way, right? They did the math on the contracts, and okay, we can still sign all the main guys over the next 2 years, and we'll be losing some contracts, and we'll still be able to sign them. Maybe it's one of the reasons that they moved Kidney too, right? Prospects that didn't do much for you, but joined the NHL and blew your socks off. Oh well, there's always those guys. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, Mark. It's tough to answer those questions just off the cuff, right? That's something you almost have to be asked before, and then go back and look at drafts. I'm not going to do that right now. I got to keep answering questions and comments. Basically you're saying, like, did you ever have a poor draft ranking? Oh yeah, plenty of those. Lots of them. As far as blowing my socks off, I don't know. I mean, I thought Lucas Raymond was soft. He's still not hard, I don't think, but he's Wyatt Cullen is actually 5'11 and a half. You go by Central Scouting, okay? That's how you 5'11 and a quarter, 174 pounds. He's not 5'8". You want to know a person's actual height, Claude? You go to Central Scouting's list and their midterm rankings. Whatever their listed height is there, that's a measured height. Yeah, don't look in Hockey DB. They didn't mention the D, so I presume no change on D. They confirmed Fowler and Galley and Bolduc out. Well, Struvel's playing well right now. I've liked his last 2 games. He's been solid, so playoffs are still not guaranteed. Huge game tonight. Mittelstadt must be okay if Habs re-signed him. Well, he's not horrible. They didn't re-sign him. They signed him, Claude. But you're saying they can never make a mistake, or we'll see. They've made mistakes in the past. They traded Mayu for Bolduc, for one. They're not perfect. None of us are. Certainly not me. They didn't mention the D, so I presume no change on D. Yeah, exactly. Brandon Carlo would have been a nice fit. If you don't mind a turnover machine, yeah. He's a terrible option on the power play. My question is, why is it the Habs management doesn't see this? Why are they not bringing up Reinbacher? Well, just look at Claude has the answer. Carrier must be okay if the Habs, Just kidding, Claude. We evaluate Reinbacher based on 20-minute videos 3 times a week. Habs coaching staff are spending 4 hours with him every day. They can both analyze his matches, but also way more than us. Yeah, okay. And what's your point, Francois? They're not going to call him up. We're right. We're wrong. They're right. Well, we'll see. So if they call him up tomorrow, then what? Engstrom had 4 hits in 11 playoff games. Have no confidence he will be tough enough for playoff hockey. Yeah, well, he's not playing in the playoffs. Come on, let's be realistic here. He's a left defenseman that's not physical, and they've got 5 left defensemen, 2 of them physical. They're both going to sit, and he's going to play. It doesn't make sense. He's not going to play on the right side, a rookie defenseman in the playoffs that's not overly physical. He's not going to be on the right side to start the playoffs. It's just not happening, folks. No, they don't. Not Engstrom. Do you not think he would be better than Carrier? Who? Engstrom? No, not at this point. Trading Ghule would be a huge mistake. He's exactly what we need. Yeah, just give him time. Yeah, Mark. Well, I gave you a name, right? Lucas Raymond. Don't ask me again. I answered the question. All right. So post-game show, I might be doing it on my couch tonight. I think St. Louis is giving every opportunity possible to Bolduc, Carrier, and Montembeault. Wants to give the vets a chance to play themselves off the ice. Yeah. I don't have enough expertise, knowledge to say my philosophy is to trust the people who are in the best situation to take the decisions. Yeah. Well, I'm by no means an expert on this stuff either, and I guess scouting every game of his doesn't tell you for sure that that I'm right or wrong. I mean, but I do have a scouting background, and if what I'm seeing is I'm pretty emphatic about it, the odds are that the Habs brass is seeing the same thing. I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't think that Reinbacher was ready for a look now. We'll soon find out. We'll find out this week. And if they don't think he is, well, then, as you say, there's some stuff, they're around him 24 hours a day or whatever, and I'm not. Maybe there's some stuff that they see and know about that I don't, but based on, if you see it over and over again that he's the best player on the ice in matches, like 80% of the time, based on my experience in scouting for 20 years, I'd be surprised if the Canadians think differently. Kapanen's a good example. I scouted him a lot over the last 3-4 years, and I was pretty sure that he was ready to take a significant role with the Canadians this year, and they ended up thinking the same thing. So usually we're on the same page when it comes to stuff like that. Hudson last year, I scouted him 3 years, and I said, look, I think he can be he can play on the first power play. He can get 50-60 assists and perhaps win the Calder Trophy, and that's what happened. So I have a pretty good track record on stuff like that. Slav, scouted him as, hey, Canadians should be picking him first overall, not Shane Wright. He'll be, first line player for them, big, powerful winger. He reminded me a bit of Yager. Yager came out this year and said he reminds him of himself there. So I don't always get them right, but you know, I'm confident in my evaluation skills, and I think it's pretty clear. You know, if I watch 3 videos a week of Reinbacher and he keeps impressing, the Canadians don't think differently. They like what they see too. Everyone does. Everyone that watches, it's not just me or you, Francois, seeing it. It's everyone's noticing that Reinbacher has made significant strides in his game. So again, I'd be very surprised if the Canadians think differently at this point. I hope he gets called up tomorrow. Probably does. You know, as I say, there haven't been any 21-year-olds that haven't seen some time in the NHL that were picked top 5. No, you know, and that's not just defenseman either. That's forward. Like any player picked top 5. And we'll see. The Habs don't just know the player in the match, but the guy in practices, the human game situations that may not be experimented in AHL. Well, they picked him top 5. They know, they knew the human before they ever picked him. So they're not going to be saying, well, we're not calling him up because we don't think he's a good human, right? They know he's a good human. So, I mean, that's irrelevant. The guy in practices, well, I mean, if he's the best player on the ice every time you watch him, he's obviously good in practices too, right? Anyway, they're not gonna not call him up based on a couple things they don't see in practices, you know. Anyway, Francois, I know you're trying to. Again, sometimes you think a little too deeply on the subject, buddy. He's ready. Habs are going to think he's ready. He's going to get called up. And they're not going to say, well, gee, didn't like his practice last week there that one day. We better not call him up. Like, that's irrelevant. It's what he's doing on the ice. If he's ready to come up to play, I mean, they got no issues with his character. I'll tell you that right now. And that goes back to one of the reasons why they drafted him, right? All right. All good stuff, folks. I better let we seem to be caught up on the chat here. Is there anything else? Does anyone have any burning questions? Ask me quickly here. I'm just going to quickly double check to see if there's any changes in the lineup on defense. I presume that they they're going with the same defense group. When I put in Jaka, it's just people saying, I wish he was in the lineup. All right. Well, let's just presume that the defense group is the same tonight then as the last game. And we'll see. Do I think Protz can find a way to line up for the Habs, the playoffs? Maybe Fargo. Maybe he finds a way into the lineup at some point. He seems to be built for their playoff type hockey, right? We'll get a better idea when we see him playing AHL playoffs down the road. Might be a little bit this year, hopefully. Depends how far Bradford goes in the playoffs, but OHL playoff starts a lot sooner than the AHL, so hopefully he gets some games in. Hopefully Laval wins a few rounds. They look like they're the best team in their division, and you got to get out of your division first. So let's hope Laval goes 3 rounds in the playoffs. If they do, unless Bradford goes to the Memorial Cup, we'll be seeing Protz in the AHL if they go that far. Can I rate Pickford's backhand? Why? It's his slap shot and wrist shot that are his bread and butter, my friend. So he scores 95% of his goals. He's got a good backhand, that's good, but that's not how he's going to be scoring goals in the NHL. It's that friggin' rocket of a shot that he's got, and wrist shot. They're both great. Yeah, I did get your own Protz question there, 46 Fargo. Thank you. Scoy George, you heading off, buddy? All right. Kind of hoping they trade Bolduc in the summer and don't let a declining asset go to nothing like Doc. Why is Doc give him 2 years after his knee injury? Doc's not even 20. What is he? 25? Like let's. And Bolduc, he's 22. Let's be patient with these guys, okay? We see guys have struggles at 22 in the NHL. It doesn't mean a bloody thing. 24, they could be great. 26. Developments are all different depending on the team, depending on the player. We just got to be patient. And, a guy has a poor stretch for a couple of weeks and he sits out a game at 22. It doesn't mean anything. Hope you're doing well. When you were working as a scout, who's one name you wanted the Habs to draft, but they didn't? Well, my first year, when the Habs picked Tenorti in the first round, my top-rated guy was Kuznetsov. I had him top 10, but I mean, this is based on watching video and not that much of it. It's easy for a part-time scout to say, yeah, that's who you should draw. And yeah, okay, he went on, won a cup and was really good. But as far as players that I had scouted quite a bit that year and who I wanted them to draft, I understood they weren't taking. I mean, they were gun shy on Russians like just about every team. Washington and Detroit and Tampa, or Washington and Tampa and St. Louis were like the only teams that were picking Russians high in the draft at that point. There'd been a lot of horror stories in recent times, and Montreal having one of them with the Kostitsyn brothers, like with Andre, he was a party animal, right? I know he wasn't Russian, but same neck of the woods. And they just, they did not want to take the risk of drafting a Russian prospect that high, in part because, they can always take their puck and go home, right? They always had the option of going back to Russia and signing a contract there. So, or never coming over. So, the guy that I wanted them to pick or hoped they'd pick was Tyler Toffoli. I was in Ottawa. He was with the 67s, and yeah, he wasn't the greatest skater in the world, but he was a goal scorer, and I thought he could be a decent goal scorer in the NHL. I liked a lot of things about Tyler Toffoli, and that's who I had hoped that they would pick. I know Trevor liked him too, but they deferred to the U.S. scouts and who really liked Tenorti. And I mean, 6'6" defenseman. You know, if he developed right, he would have been a great asset for the Canadians. But part of it, again, that development, the Habs were horrible at developing players. They just didn't do a good job of it, and they were also impatient with drafted players. And Bergevin kept hiring coaches who didn't like the drafted players. And I mean, you got to have guys that, they all got to be on the same page. And it wasn't that way with Joel Bouchard and the scouting staff and stuff. And I could name 10 guys that just, the AHL coaches didn't end up liking. They'd rather have their undrafted Quebec League players that used to play for them. They get preference over high draft picks, and it really was. And and we saw the results of it, right? Nathan Beaulieu didn't develop properly. Tenorti didn't develop properly. Sherbrooke didn't develop properly. McCarron, they gave up on him and traded him for Laurent Dauphin. Now, who could they use right now? Well, properly developed, they could use 6'6" right defenseman with the grit like Jared Tenorti, and the 6'6" penalty killing fourth line center in McCarron. They'd both be great to have in the lineup going into the playoffs this year. But anyway, Toffoli was the guy that I hoped that they picked, but I didn't mind the Tenorti pick, especially if he developed properly. You got a huge, mobile, physical right defenseman, but it didn't come to fruition. Reinbacher playing on Tuesday? I don't know. His second last game wasn't great. He was on the ice for 2 goals against. Last night he wasn't. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. What I might do is scout last night's game and put out a video of it tomorrow at some point. I met the Kostitsins while working at a restaurant. Sergey seemed off. Andre smoked like a chimney. Nice guys, though. Yeah. You're not getting a Ginla. Let's hope that Hughes can find some more physical D to replace Carrier. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yes, Tenorti played against the Habs the other night. Horrible era of the Habs. Lindsay Vallis. Okay, well, now you're going back. You're going back to the Ghule area for Lindsay Vallis. The Canadians back then, they picked I don't know if they had one Western scout that lived in Seattle or something, but every friggin' year, Brent Bilodeau, Lindsay Vallis, Who was the other guy? They year after year they picked their top pick was from the Seattle Thunderbirds. It was like, what the hell is going on here? And they all Turner Stevenson, I think, too. And all but Turner busted, and even Turner wasn't he didn't wasn't worthy of being a top 15 pick, I didn't think. But they every friggin' year they would pick a Seattle Thunderbird first round. It's like, oh my goodness. Bust, 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 bust. Brent Bilodeau, Turner Stevenson, Lindsey Vallis, 3 straight years. Top picks were Seattle Thunderbirds. And between them, there's 190 points. And that's 3 picks in the top 17. Vallis played 1 game in the NHL, 13th overall pick. Bilodeau, 0 games in the NHL, 17th overall pick. It was a disaster. That was the late 80s, actually. And it wasn't Reinbacher Ghule era. I guess it was not good. Put it that way. Yeah. Bad memories, folks. I guess Savard was the GM then, but I just found it a little bit rich that Savard criticizing the scouting staff for not taking enough Quebecers, and then he was he was running the team when they selected Seattle Thunderbirds first overall 3 straight years. Bust, bust, bust. And then Wilkie the next year, and he was a bust, another Western Leaguer. They had the 4-year run where they and in that period, the best Quebec leaguer that they picked was Yves Saroux, I guess. So, he didn't practice what he preached at that point. I mean, if there's no good Quebec leaguers when you draft, you don't take them just for the sake of taking a Quebec leaguer, right? Easier said than done. Yves Saroux in that 4-year period was the best pick that the Canadiens made from the Quebec League. He played 106 games in the NHL, 10 goals, 10 assists. So, anyway. What did I think of the Galchenyuk pick? It was tough at the time. That was a horrible draft year. Like, I think the most top 10 busts of the past. Like, I don't think any draft could match the top 10 guys that didn't really turn out. It was not a good draft class. And I mean, I didn't mind Galchenyuk, but he only played 6 games that year. He blew out his knee in camp. On what little I did see of him, I thought, well, I liked him better than Yakupov. And I might be the only scout I know that didn't have Yakupov ranked first overall. I actually ranked Galchenyuk first overall that year because I just I didn't like Reinhardt. I didn't like Murray. I didn't like Yakupov that much. And I mean, for me, Galchenyuk had the most upside of any of those guys. I like Forsberg, but all of the guys, my buddies that saw him live over in Europe and stuff, so he's not a good skater. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised that Forsberg fell out of the top 10, but as time has shown us that obviously that was a mistake by the NHL scouts. Forsberg should have been the first overall pick that year. And, but he wasn't because of skating concerns, and that's one that the NHL scouting, the NHL scouts had wrong. But you look at that; it was one of the weaker draft classes in recent times. I actually had Teravainen second overall, and if you look at the, I'm just looking at stats here. Points wise, 1, 2, out of the first round picks, Teravainen's got the third most points of any draft pick. So, I wasn't that far off with Teravainen as number 2. I mean, I had him ahead of Yakupov, and that was right. I had him ahead of Murray. That was right. I had him ahead of Reinhart. That turned out to be right. So Teravainen, I remember Timmy Murray was with Ottawa at the time, and I texted him. Tim's from Shawville, and I'm from Shawville. When Teravainen was still there with the 15th pick in Ottawa, was choosing, and I was I texted him and said, like, Teravainen, like, are you not grabbing this guy? And they took Cody Ceci, who, I mean, as it turned out, has had a long NHL career in the top 4 spots. So I guess it wasn't a mistake, but I've always thought, man, why is Cody Ceci playing in a top 4 role all these years? But it's been multiple teams, so clearly they all see something in Cody Ceci that I never really did. And I got to see Ceci a lot, being a former Ottawa 67 too. I don't know. I was not that high on him, and I still am not. And I still don't understand why he keeps going to teams and keeps getting top 4 minutes. But it's been multiple teams, and it's funny because every team that he goes to, the fan base just is, man, like, why are you playing him so much? But NHL coaches see something that we, the non-coaches, don't see and have for years. But part of it is the fact that just 6'3" right defensemen that can play a role are just so valuable. There aren't that many of them, and CC, despite all the warts, he's played 937 games and played a top 4 role just about in all of them. So I guess it didn't turn out to be a bad pick for them after all. But I personally would have taken Teravainen if it had been up to me. And he's had his ups and downs. He hasn't been great, but at least Thoreau's daughter became a 4-time medal Olympian this year. That's right. That's a good point there, 4 Summers. Absolutely. They took Galchenyuk because he needed a center at the time. What a mistake. No, that wasn't a huge mistake. I'm sorry. Galchenyuk was one of the better top 10 picks in that draft class. For the first, till he started, getting into the partying a little too much and all that, there was nobody. He was top 3 all day, still among right up till 24 years old or whatever, till he got traded, really considered one of the top 3 prospects from that draft class. Like, we tend to forget that, right? And they ended up getting a good asset back for him. And, changed that asset into another asset, like the tree is Josh Anderson, right? It was they traded him for Max Domi, who gave us a 70-point season, a couple of good years. That became Josh Anderson, who's big part of them making the Stanley Cup Finals that year. You look back on the picks, and was Galchenyuk not a better pick than Yakupov and Ryan Murray? Absolutely. Griffin Reinhart, 2 points in the NHL? Definitely. Derek Pouliot? Yes. Slater Cuckoo? Absolutely. Now, would you take, would you have taken Riley and Lindholm and maybe Dumba Trouba ahead of him if you were to do it again? I suppose, but, hey, productive years, 30-goal years out of Galchenyuk with the Canadiens. Like, he had a 46, 56, 44, 51 point seasons with the Habs, including a 30-goal year that became a 70-point and a 50-point year for Domi, which became power horse the last few years. That's not much different than if they'd have picked Trouba, or you know what I mean? So I don't agree. What a mistake. I mean, you can't. Hey, any of us that were following at the time thought Galchenyuk had all the skill in the world. He just, again, you're partying with strippers, doing blow till 5 a.m. You're not going to keep developing as a player. You listen to your dad and don't listen to your coaches. You're not going to develop as a player. And you don't necessarily know all that stuff when you take them. And I mean, that year, he only played 6 games. So there was some chance there. But and you can look back and say, well, they should have taken Morgan Riley. Well, don't forget, Riley blew out his knee that year too. He never played. In his draft year, he played 18 games. Blew out his knee real early in the year, and then only played like 4 at the end of the year. So the Leafs were taking a chance picking him as high as they did as well, right? It was just one of those draft years. And, they hoped he could play center, but he ended up playing on the wing, and he ended up being a 30-goal scorer and getting them Domi, who became Anderson. So there have been a lot worse mistakes than in the top 10 over the past 15 years than Alex Galchenyuk, who, despite not playing the last few years, well, up until him and Forsberg were the highest scorers right up until, till he got traded. And, when he got traded by the Canadiens, he was either first or second in points among everyone drafted that year. And he got back a good asset still. So I don't think so. Xavier. Oh, yeah. I don't consider Xavier Villeneuve to be Lane Hudson. That's way. I prefer Tommy Blyle, actually, at this point, to Villeneuve. Really like that defenseman. They're both going probably 20 to 35 somewhere. There's a few guys in the queue, but it's not a great draft class in the queue this year, that's for sure. Can we get our boy Slav back on the Demi and Cappy line? You know, I've been wondering about that. He might end up back there. We'll see. Quebec League, no fights seem to have scouts bypass marginal players from there because soft players like Dobson, Bolduc. She loves the other guy that's probably going fairly high from the queue. There's a few. I have to really, like I say, I haven't spent a lot of time on the draft yet. Yeah. Wilkie, Fitzpatrick, and Craig Rivet, that didn't age well. Yeah, there was that time. Oh, there've been a few times. Matthew Carroll, Komisarek. Yeah, on and on. No matter what you say about Galchenyuk, he assisted on the goal that finished TO in 2021. There you go. Michel Therrien had his first camp because of his work ethic. Yeah, well, Michel Therrien, De La Rosa's first year said, "Oh, the next Jordan Staal." So, you know, impressing Michel Therrien wasn't necessarily mean a lot. Yeah. I mean, he absolutely loved David Desharnais, so, you know, first line center for years. Hello, Grant. Can you tell us a story about how you got hired? I've told that one a few times, Michael. I'd rather not. Most of the people here that are on here have heard it at least once. So I'd rather not detail it again at this point. I wish I could remember which episode it was that or episodes that I detailed it in the past, but they're there. It's again, it's not something that I want to. Most of the people on here heard the story already. It wasn't just a quick process. There were different stages to it, right? Start out scouting, get hired by McKean's, meet Trevor Timmins and Bob Gainey, get to know Trevor, give him my scouting reports, get offered a job as a part-timer, taking it. That basically quickly summarizes it for you, Michael. I hope that helps. Late to the party, folks. Ken, were you busy listening to REM there, buddy, or what? Ended last night's conversation with some REM talk. By the way, I like Metallica, I like AC/DC, all that, but I was just talking rock and roll, and I consider them more. Well, I guess rock. I guess AC/DC is a rock and roll band, but they're a little more heavy rock. And Dio, somebody mentioned, and it was asked which concerts that my favorite concerts. One of my favorites, since a lot of people here invariably like the harder rock bands. Sabbath was also another one I got thinking later that I really enjoyed. Although Ozzy was not. Ronnie James Dio was actually the lead singer at the time. And what was that? The Mob Rules tour. Remember the album Mob Rules? It was a good album, actually. But I really enjoyed Sabbath. Sammy starting in net tonight. Saw Sabbath with both Dio and Gillen. Yeah. Gillen from Deep Purple, of course. Ronnie James Dio. Yes, Dio could friggin' sing, man. On a cold wind west from Wanda. On a cold wind west of Wanda. Sign of the Southern Cross. That was a good album, and I quite enjoyed that. And I saw Ozzy too, solo. Judas Priest, although I didn't. I mean, it was the what was that album that came out with Electric Eye on it and everything? I can't think of the name of it, but that tour. But I just the lead singer couldn't hit what's his face there couldn't hit a high note, and they just go ah all the time instead of singing and screaming for vengeance. That's it. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I thought I would. His voice irritated me. Came out on his motorcycle at the end and all that, but I mean, a great band, but lead singer he bothered me. Who has the net tonight? Well, Sammy. Sabbath, I only like the Aussie stuff for some reason. Oh, well, that was the best. I mean, frig. Sabbath's first few albums were great. And it's Halford. Yes, thank you. I think one of the best I saw was Iron Maiden. Yeah, that would have been good. I'm not a huge metal guy, but Iron Maiden, Sabbath. Sabbath's my all-time favorite. They're kind of like the fathers of heavy metal as far as I'm concerned. Loved their first album, and Paranoia, all those. Volume 4, yada yada. Robbie Halford on the motorcycle, hell bent for leather. Yep. It's got to be Fowler tonight, right? Well, yeah. Fowler's in nets. Somebody was joking about Sammy. Oh, 4 Summers, $5 contribution. Thank you, sir. $5 an hour. I got 5 in the first hour, 5 in the second. I'm in the money. Thank you, guys. I appreciate, not a lot of contributions, but $5 is more than generous from my 2 benefactors this time around. Thank you, gentlemen, for the support. Mark with his $5 and you as well. 4 Summers, whatever your name is. Saw all those bands at the Gardens as a young shithead growing up in Toronto. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey. Like I said last night, rock and roll, hockey and rock and roll just kind of, for me, they kind of went hand in hand. Playing Monty is not funny. There are some things we should not joke about. Too bad it's not April 1st, eh? Gotta wait till I'll have to put something out. Social media. Monty's starting tonight. Defensive of the face, screaming. Judas Priest, yeah. It was not one of my favorite concerts, I gotta say. I don't remember if it was Priest and Sabbath together. I can't remember. But, yeah. Definitely preferred Sabbath. Well, it was, great musicians. They were all good. They were all still there except Geezer and the boys, just not Ozzy, right? Well, I think I better wrap this up. So post game, we'll see you then. I might be doing it I might be doing it on my couch. Billy Ward, Vinny on drums at the time. Yes. Oh yeah. Good musicians. Post game, might be doing it on my couch. I think the young lad's home tonight, and we got to yeah, exactly. Wait for it on X. I'm gonna shock everybody. Montembeau signed. People are onto that stuff now. There was when Twitter was first new, you could get away with stuff like that now and then, but people usually catch on now. All right. Are you going to be around tonight? I think Rick's going to be on board. Probably sounds like Blaine will be here too. So good. You can see somebody blabbing other than me. Hope you join us for the post game. Hopefully it'll be after a victory. Enjoy your afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming, tuning in again, and hope to see you tonight. All right. Bye for now. Cheers.